Hi, Bookaholics. This is Deirdre Pippins, and welcome to my May overview of the Bookaholic podcast and Bookaholic YouTube channel. In the month of May, we're going to focus on mental health awareness. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm bringing that to the attention of people because of course, mental health is certainly important. Now, for this video, I am going to say this is an imperfect video. So that's one of the parts of embracing all of our health, that we don't have to be perfect, because I'm going to look down at my notes because I want everything that I've written down to be said on this video. I don't want to miss a thing because that's how important this month is to my channel. So, mental health. For those who still kind of blow mental health off and mental health conditions and mental health awareness, you know what I mean? Those who scoff and say, oh, it's just this or it's just that. They want to act that way, or it's just the devil. It's just all these other things. Instead of trying to understand mental health conditions and mental health illnesses, some people still do blow it off. So bringing about attention to mental health can still feel, like it's some kind of buzz phrase or phase we're going through, for people to promote. Because there's a lot of high profile people, okay, such as Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, Kevin Love, and others who've brought about attention to their mental health issues. So, some people are full of doubt and a little jaded and will say, oh, this is just another famous person bringing attention to themselves. Well, mental health conditions and illness is very real. And it affects anyone, famous people, regular people. It takes on different forms. It comes through conditions. It comes through illnesses. It's episodic. It sometimes can be genetic. So it can come to you in various forms and fashions. So I just want to say, first of all, thanks to some very outspoken people. They're brave, they're outspoken, they're high profile, just like the folks I just mentioned. Okay? But it's not, it also, mental health came to the forefront because of the pandemic. As you know, we had a rise of self-care postings on social media. And that was true, and it was real, because even though you stayed at home for the most part of the pandemic, it was still stressful somehow, some way, because you were used to going out and meeting friends and seeing family, even though sometimes those were things you didn't always want to do, like, oh, I'm too tired, I don't want to go to this party, or I'm too tired, I don't want to deal with such and such and so at this dinner party or this family gathering. But we needed that social, the interaction with other people, and when you didn't get that became stressful in some sort of way. Just even being able to see people, like, say, in passing at a Starbucks or at the mall or in a parking lot, when people were really staying at home, you barely saw cars on the highway. It was kind of frightening. It was a very frightening time. And so that period of time brought about, either it amplified your issues, and you had to turn around and say, oh, I've got to do some things different. Or it either brought attention to, oh, I was in this space because I was go, go, go. Now that I'm in a more calm space at home and during this pandemic, I realize I can take these steps and be more self-care. So it did a lot of different things, but that's wherein all mental health conditions and awareness really became full blown to the public. So mental health illnesses and conditions have affected my family and yours too, whether you want to recognize it or not. I was very saddened to hear about the passing of Regina King's son, Ian Alexander Jr., Chesley Christ, the former Miss USA and attorney. And those are two people you would think, oh wow, they have it all. They're, she's a beauty queen and she's an attorney at the same time. What could be wrong? And then you go back a little bit, there was the issue of Kate Spade taking her life and Anthony Bourdain taking his life, who I watched his show faithfully. So I definitely missed him. And then there was even the suicide of one of my siblings' neighbor. He took his own life while his children were in the house, in the home. So I just began to feel overwhelmed for a lot of people and say one suicide is too much. And so I've been very fortunate to have guests that are going to be on in the month of May to tell their story and how they worked their way through their illness or condition. So, according to NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 1 in 5 Americans live with a mental illness. So every fifth person you see a group of 5 people, one of those people is dealing with mental illness. Now, it may not be a full-blown episodic condition, but it could be depression. It could be grief. Grief is an episode that can bring about mental illness in some form or some fashion, at least temporarily, until a person works their way through that grief and can become more of themselves. So with all of this, I have created the mental health series for my channel, just so that people can know that even though you may be suffering from a mental health condition or illness, there's other people out there that can tell you they've made it through to the other side. And we've got lots of different people that's going to give you their stories. So let's get into it. I'm going to talk to Kelsey Walker, who sustained a mental health issues after an abortion. She suffered from PTSD. Then there's Kimberly Ann Bell, who lived through abandonment and sexual trauma in her childhood. There's Neil Elliott, who wrote his suicide note, but decided to give life one more chance as he formulated a 7-step process to get him through his deep depression. Then there's Rohit Gupta, whose career path caused anxiety. So instead of being a high-flying engineer, he decided to become a writer. So we'll talk to him about that. And then there's Dr. Naomi Olatunji, whose racial identity and general racism caused her trauma in childhood. And we have many more that will be joining us. But each person, whether they have experienced a mental health condition or not, will provide not only their story, but processes for you to get through anything that you may be going through. It's all different. I give out lots of different varieties. We're going to talk about therapy. We're going to talk about medication. We're going to talk about religion. We're going to talk about other ways to sustain your mind for your own peace and joy. So please join the Bookaholic podcast on your favorite podcasting platform, Google, Spotify, Apple, and many more, and of course on the Bookaholic YouTube channel. You won't want to miss any of the mental health episodes that I've got coming up. And just for some more information, if you are experiencing overwhelming anxiety, fears, any of these things, and you feel that you're in some type of a crisis, reach out to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Their helpline is 800-950-6264. You can chat with them Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Or you can text NAMI to 741 741 for 24/7 counseling. Okay, I hope you join us during the month of May. It's very important, and I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you for joining the Bookaholic podcast. We appreciate your support. Remember to subscribe to the podcast, follow us on Instagram at True Bookaholic. You can also email us at readingjunkie@book-a-holic.com. Don't forget to support your local library and independent bookstores.